Welcome back, guys. It has been a long time since I've done one of these, but we are back with another farm tutorial. So go ahead and clear out at least one plot and paste it on two 1x5 rows. I'm going to use these two, but you can separate them if you want to do it that way. So then go to the edge of one plot, skip 2 rows here, and then place 2 rows of dirt like that. You're then going to want to place another 2 rows on top of it, skip 1 row, and then place another just like that. This one is going to be slightly different because we're going up 3 rows instead of 2. So after you have these 2 rows, you're going to copy this pattern. We're going to place 2, skip 1, 2, skip 1, 3. You're going to want a total of 16 rows. After that, you should have something that looks like this. So now you're going to want to grab some soul sand, and we're going to place that in between all of these rows. You're also going to want to place it on this end, not the other one. After you've placed all the soul sand, go to one end and just place a row of dirt across. And now we're going to go to every row of 3 and just build a row of dirt up. It's always going to be on the left side. After you've done that, it should look something like this. And now we are going to add the second layer for pumpkins and melons. So basically, this is going to be the first row. It's going to have pumpkins here. We're going to add a second row up, 1 up on this row, and 1 to the left. So that way you should have a gap right between there so that you'll fit under it on the soul sand. And you'll also be able to farm multiple going up. So just add 1 above and 1 to the right every single time, except for rows of 3, it's not above. It starts on this row of dirt that you placed, and then 1 to the right. Once you get to the end here, you're still going to go up, even though it's a little bit off. And now we're going to add another row. So you can just do it from the edge there. And now that we're done with this row, we can remove it, so it should look something like this. And now that we have this row up, we're going to finish off the farm basically with these. And it's going to be the exact same thing. Just go on this dirt row, 1 to the left every single time. Once you finish that, get rid of the dirt, and you should have something that looks like this. After you've finished that, we're going to grab a bunch of ladders. Now, this is pretty much instead of the trapdoors from previous videos, just because it's easier to place. Now, you're only going to place these on the rows where there is one of these that comes out into the rows. So like these rows, there's nothing. And then this row, you have it. So basically, this row, we have it. So we start up at the top. You're going to want to place row of ladders all the way across here. You're going to want to place it all the way across here. And then all the way across this row. So there will be 3 rows of ladders in each row, and the rows only go basically every 3 rows. And what you want to do now is place a row of blocks. Now, from experience, do not shift while you're placing this, or it will remove the row of ladders. So you want to just click, add a row of blocks, add a prisma pump. So make sure that water gets all the way to the end, because sometimes it's weird and it doesn't. Like there's a ladder from accidentally placing it. There, it made it all the way to the end. And now you can just remove this row of dirt. And it should look just like this, and then do that all the way down. Now, after you've done all of that, just take your prisma pump and just make a row of water on every single row of soul sand. Now, for this last row, the only thing that's different is make sure that you have a row of dirt so that the water doesn't flow out onto the edge. That's going to be it for melon and pumpkin. So now we're going to move on to the next farm, which is going to be mushroom. So now we're going to start with mushroom, which grabs some podzol and your infinity dirt wand. So we're going to start out by placing 2 rows of dirt right across the top of melon and pumpkin. Then remove that wand and place podzol. So we're going to place 5 rows from the corner. Skip 1 block, then another 5. Skip a block, then another 5. And now once you have 4 rows of 5 podzol, you're going to skip 11 blocks. And then on the 12th block, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then get another 4 rows of podzol. So once you've finished that, it should look something just like this. And now we can remove these 2 layers of dirt that are in the way. Now you're going to want to grab any type of slab, it doesn't really matter. But first place a row of dirt just like this, right under each gap in the podzol. Then from here, you're going to be stuck because of the water on the previous layer. Just place any block, it doesn't really matter. Place the row, break that block, and replace the water. Now for these 4 rows over here, we're going to do something very similar, but slightly different. So basically, we're always going to be farming this way. So we're going to want to place it in between these rows. Then for this last one, build down 3 blocks over 1 and build it up. And then you can just break the TNT. Now that we have all of those rows placed, basically just remove that and then place slabs on every row of dirt you just built. Now once you've done that, just remove all the rows of dirt. And then when you finish, it should look something like this, and it kind of looks like 2 mushroom farms, but it is only 1. Now after you have all of that, basically what we're going to want to do, place 1 TNT here, then a row of dirt. And now we are going to start placing rows of dirt like this. So the easiest thing to do, place a row across. And we're basically just going to fill this all with dirt all the way to the end of the plot. So now you should have something that looks like this, and this is where we're going to start our wheat farm. So right here, we're going to start by placing 5 rows of dirt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 1. And we're just going to keep going till we have 6 rows of 5. Now, if you've done it correctly, you should have 1 block open at the end of the plot. One thing I almost forgot, we do have to remove these rows right here and then replace them with soul sand. Now, it is actually very important that the rest of this is dirt or any other block that doesn't slow your speed. After that, you can fill all of these with water. I am going to lay off on the last one just because it will spill out like way into the next plot and it'll be extremely annoying. So I'm not going to do that yet. Probably a little later. Make sure you block off the water. Just to make it a little bit easier to build the next layers. Next up, just build 4 blocks down from the soul sand. You can break those, use an infinity dirt wand, and place a row of dirt just like that. Actually, we're also going to need another row of dirt just under that, so just do that real quick. And now change it so that you're placing soul sand, and place that in rows of 5. This is obviously the nether wart farm. So just basically copy the exact same as the wheat, but it's nether wart this time. Once you finish that, it will look just like this. And now we can remove this row of dirt and start working on the next part. So next up, just use the soul sand that you have left and place rows in between just like you did above. And then also just place water on top of them the same way as you did above. After you finish that, it should look just like this. Again, I'm leaving this off. It will have water later, but not right now. Next thing you want to do, get an infinity dirt wand in a builder's ruler. Fill these all with dirt. Now, this kind of seems useless because it's covered by this, but it will make sense later in the video. And that's it for nether wart. So now we move on to sugarcane. So what we're going to do for sugarcane is start off infinity dirt wand. First off, remove this row of dirt by the nether wart farm. Now you're going to want this to be on the edge of the plot. So what you do is place 1 row of dirt here. Skip 1, 1, 2, skip 1, 1, 2. Get 12 rows, including 2 end ones with just 1. So when you finish that, it should look just like this. Next up, just fill these empty little gaps here with some water. And now, it is going to be slightly annoying, but just place TNT on each one of these. Put rows of dirt on top of the water. Then remove the TNT and place the water back. Just place some dirt here just to stop you from leaving the farm on accident. But other than that, we're done with this farm. And that is the end for this plot. So now we're going to move on to the next plot with the other set of farms. So to start off the next plot, I just built everything here. And now I'm going here. Now, if you don't have connecting plots, that's totally fine. You can just do like 2 separate plots that aren't connected. But you won't need to do this step right here. So what I'm going to do is just build a wall of dirt all the way up. Just so that when I place water here, it doesn't spill out anywhere. Now, if you're not building the plots right next to each other, just skip this dirt wall. The water probably will just not spill into the next plot over anyway, because you don't have it unlocked. If you do have it unlocked, just build a wall. And now we can start off with the actual building of this plot. So to start out this farm, remember this is in the plot. Basically what we're going to do is build a small wall right here, and then move on to placing some slabs, which go right here. And now from here, we're going to start a pattern. We are going to get 22 rows of sand. And the sand is going to be placed in rows of 2 like this. Then we skip 2, 2 more. Skip 2, 2 more. And just do this till you have 22 rows of sand. After you finish building the 22 rows of sand, you're actually going to want to build a 23rd the same way, except this one has 3 rows of sand instead of 2. And after that, grab a lot of slabs and then fill in between each row of sand with 2 rows of slabs. Next up, we're going to be starting with cocoa. So what you're going to want to do is start from right where this dirt is. You're going to be wanting to place right here, row of dirt. And then on this row of dirt, you're going to want to place 34 rows of soul sand. After that, you can just remove this row of dirt right here. And then you're going to want to place rows of 2 dirt, skip 2 blocks, 2 dirt, skip 2 blocks, and just do this till the end of the platform. And if you've done it right, you should end perfectly at the end of the platform just like that. Then grab some jungle wood and place in rows of 3 right on top of the dirt. Now we're going to temporarily remove the dirt sections here. And now basically what we have to do is place a whole bunch of doors. You're welcome, my Calazar. To do this, you basically place a door like that. So you'll be able to fit in right here. And you'll easily be able to fit in the other side. So you want it on the edge of this first block here. So you're basically going to want to place doors all the way down. My rancher boots aren't set to the right speed yet. But you want to place doors all the way down this block, all the way down this block, all the way down the row. So that is like the same, like it's 1 block over. Then you get to skip 1, and then it's all the way down this block. All the way down this one, skip 1, this one, skip 1. So you take them all the way down the row. After you finish placing all of the doors, it should look something like this. And now we can place all of the dirt back. Next up, we're going to place a TNT right here, and we're going to place a row of dirt across like so. So from here, we're going to go 2 up like this. Skip 1, then we're going to go 5 across, just like the old ones. If you have soul sand, you can fill it in right away, but I don't on me, so I'm going to place the rows first. And remember, it is 6 rows of 5. Then once you finish that, just place 2 on the end there. Once you've finished that, just place soul sand in between all of these here. Cut off the ends with TNT, and then place water in all of those rows. Now what we're going to do is basically copy this exact same thing right under itself. So first off, remove this spare row of dirt here. Now we have more space. And what we're going to do is place a row of dirt. So now what we're going to do, place a row of dirt right under this soul sand for cocoa. Then we're going to place 1, 2. Skip 1, 1, 2. It's basically the exact same thing. Just follow this pattern, copy it exactly right here, and then it should look something like this. And here we are. That is fully built. Now you can just remove this row of dirt here and the TNT there. Now that is going to be all the farms that I am building. Now you might notice there's a little bit of space here. You could try and fit in a brown mushroom farm. I'm just going to be building a red one. Now you should have enough space, but I'm not going to be building that. So now what you're going to want to do is come over here to the mushroom farm and place trapdoors. I'm only placing at the beginning, but you should take them all the way down the rows. So basically just place them. This is only on the right side, not the left side rows. So it's only going to be these rows, not those. One last thing before we actually start planting, just come over here to this last melon and pumpkin row. We're going to need to add water for these rows. Now, I didn't do it earlier because it is slightly different. Basically, what you want to do, we're going to build out, I guess 3 TNT works fine. So it'll be above your head. We actually need to build down one because this needs to be a row of dirt. So we'll just go there. Then we can just place one there and there. Now, if we block this off, we should be able to add this row of water. And now you should see that these start getting the water, and you can remove these 3 TNT, and it does not get in the way at all. Now, the way to add this, we're just going to do it again, but right here. So just like that, it'll be a little circle there. Add the water, block it off. And now that will get this one as well. I'm just going to start out with melon and pumpkin because I'm already here. So just make sure you till the one on the right if you're looking at it from this angle at least. So basically, if you were in the water looking up, the seeds are on the far end and the pumpkins / melons will grow on the close one. Now that that's done, basically we're just going to buy the seeds and do half the plots as melon and half the plots as pumpkin. Once you finish that, it should look something like this, and they're probably already starting to grow because they're on mine. And now let's just plant nether wart because that one's super easy. Once you've grabbed some nether wart, put it in a nether wart pouch and basically just fill all 5 rows. Just like so. After that, we can just till all rows of 5 dirt like this. And basically, I'm just going to be planting wheat here, so you should do that. Wait till it gets all the way to the other end before planting, otherwise the seeds won't go all the way to the other end. After that, grab some sugarcane. And if you did notice, yes, I skipped mushroom on purpose. That just makes it a little easier later on. After that, grab cocoa beans and basically just paste them just all across every row. Just like that, all the way to the end. After that, we're going to go over here and do the same thing as we did at wheat, only this time it's going to be either potato or carrot. I'm using potato. And then after you finish that, just go straight down and do the one that you didn't pick on the last one. And basically just plant them all the way across here. After that, your farm is pretty much fully planted. Cactus is not going to be planted right now because it gets very confusing very fast, and it is a lot easier if you can fly through the farm while you're changing it. So that's going to be all we're doing now, and I'm just going to plant a couple mushrooms on these and then paste the farms over. Now, because of how quickly mushroom grows, you only need to plant like a couple mushrooms on each one. And then that's all you need. So now you can just save the presets and then fill your sacks with all the seeds of all these crops just all the way, because otherwise it won't plant the seeds and will have to like manually use basket of seeds on like every plot you place. And one other thing I did forget to mention, pumpkins and melons. Just put pumpkins and melons in your sacks because for some reason you can't put seeds in. You just put them in and it works anyway. I don't know. It's a little weird, but yeah. Now, if you did fill your sacks, all the crops should be pasting with the plots, which makes it a lot easier later on. Now that all plots have been pasted all the way across, it is time to start lane changing. So right now, I'm just going to start off by placing the starting block for the wheat farm, which will just be an emerald block here. One quick thing to note, wheat, nether wart, carrot and potato are all the exact same. Just copy this all the way on every farm. I'm only going to show it once, so you can watch it again if you need, but this is how everyone is going to be. After you place the sign, just place one block right here. So this will be your starting block where you set your spawn, and then you can keep going all the way across. We'll have a lane change at that side, but we'll just do the first one right here. So the lane changes are very different from old videos. Basically, what you're going to want to do is count 11 blocks, and then on this 11th block, place a sign. Now you can break this block and replace it with a dirt. Grab a plumber sponge and just get rid of the rest of that water, and turn the rest of these soul sand blocks into dirt. You can stop on that last one. Break these and turn them into dirt. Okay, so now that you have this little L shape, one thing I forgot is you just place one dirt in the water. The rest will be soul sand, just one here. Now grab an iron trapdoor. You want to place it on the very top of the wheat. It's very annoying, but you have to break it. place a block, and then you can replace it after that. So the next thing you want to do, directly after this sign, just break the dirt. And then you're going to want to break it in like a little stair-shaped pattern all the way until you hit the next water where you place a sign. And then just break out all the rest of the wheat. So it will be basically just a flat area here. And get rid of all of this water here. So now your farm should look something like this. So you're going to be holding W when you use this farm, so you'll lane switch into this lane and then go back. Now that just makes this farm slightly more efficient than the older ones. The last thing to do is change out the rest of these soul sand blocks with dirt. And then that is a lane switch. Do this, you know, every other. So the next thing you're going to want to do, now that you have this little lane change here, we are going to place some slabs right in this corner, then a water bucket, then we're going to break 3 pieces of dirt here, and then 3 water buckets. Basically, that just makes it so all of these wheat blocks are still growing. So basically, that's what a lane change looks like. You're going to do this all the way across on both ends, on all 4 types of crops. So because of how this lane changing works out, you're actually only going to need 2 on this end, and then this last one you're just going to fall into the void and go back to spawn. But on the other end, you're going to need 3. Just so you know, once it's finished, it should look something like this, just the blocks of water, goes all the way down, all the way back, with the trapdoor above that. That's what wheat looks like. Now down here, it's pretty much the exact same. You don't need the water because it doesn't need to grow. And also, I just break the second block of the dirt so you can, you know, move through rows. But it's basically the exact same. Same stuff on the soul sand. You got the water going there, trapdoor, and it goes all the way around. It's pretty much the exact same. And then carrot and potato are the exact same as wheat. And for cocoa, what I've done is I just removed these 2 doors at the front of the farm here, replaced them with emerald blocks so I know it's the start. I removed 1 more door here, although we're going to be removing more later once we start moving to the next row. After you're this far into the cocoa bean farm, basically what we're going to want to do, go through this door. So we're going to be farming back this way. I guess I should grab an axe. So we're going to break this door. So it will be, let's see. If you're starting from here, you should have broken, I think, 4 total doors on this side. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to be going this way. You're going to hit off there, break these 2 here, place a cake there, and then break these 2 dirt here. Now this is just the optimal way to switch lanes. So it's going to look like this when you're farming. You're going to come back, and then you're going to go back this way. Once you've made it through here, you're going to break this end door here. Just block off the end so you don't walk off the edge. You can use any block. I'm just using soul sand. Do the same thing on this door here, block it off, and then break the doors and do the exact same thing. Blank door, cake, and then a hole. And just copy this all the way to the end. Once you've finished all the rows with the cakes, the last one should just lead straight into the void, so you warp back to the beginning. And the other side is a lot easier than this one. So basically what you do on the other side, you break 1 door here, 2 doors here, and block it off with any block. And that is it. Just do this for every row. Next up, we've got pumpkin and melon. So I've gone ahead and placed a sign and an emerald block right at the beginning of the pumpkin farm, which is going to be right between, you know, it's going to be pretty much right in the middle. So we're going to farm down that way, and we're going to be coming back on this row. Now, since this is a water row, it's going to be slightly different from some other ones. So first off, you're going to want to grab a sign, place it there. Grab any block. I guess I'll use dirt. So place a dirt block right here at the end. So if you're farming back this row, it'll stop you from going out there. And now here, we need to break this dirt block, place a sign there, and another dirt block there. We're going to break these 2, and then those 2 dirt blocks, you can just fly out on the end here, and we're going to place snow to level out with the soul sand. You'll know if you've done it right your guy should not be moving up and down while running across these blocks. Then that will send you back down that way. You'll come back this way. And basically, I'll just run through what you do again. Block here, sign here, axe, go through here, break these 2, 3, 4 blocks, go through here, place a sign here. We're going to have to break this ladder, which will break a little bit more because we break the water, but just place a sign up there. And then go out, place some snow. Since this block is another one, we're going to place more snow here. So there should be no dirt. And that is how a water row is different. Still block it off at the end here and just fly out. If snow does something like that and it's not working, just go around the end and just click it on the edge and then it should work fine. Then you'll come back on this, which happens to be the last row, so you can leave that open or block it off. It doesn't really matter, but if you like dropping into the void to respawn, just leave it open. So Pumpkin's going to be the exact same on the opposite side. Just do the exact same thing so that you're swapping lanes all the way down to the end. And Melon is the same as Pumpkin. You're going to leave this block regular. I'm just going to add emerald so everybody knows right here is where you start. So you're going to start here, go this way. When you're coming back, the easiest thing to do, you just break these 2 blocks here, place 2 dirt, break this block up here. And the next thing you're going to want to do is get out a shovel. Just break all of these end blocks. Yes, that will break sugarcane, but that is supposed to happen. And break that all the way down and leave the last one. Basically, now what you want to do, grab some water, make sure it actually fills in with water all the way across. Then you can just cover that up with some dirt. And then on rows that you're coming back down here like this, place a dirt, place a sugarcane. So that way you'll be getting as much sugarcane as possible. And it should look something just like this. Then you'll go back up this row. You'll be coming back down this row. So break this dirt, place a dirt, and then place a sugarcane here. Now just continue this till you get to the end of the farm. Now, if you come over to the other end of sugarcane, this is actually going to look very different. So you're going to want to break 5 blocks in. And right here is where we actually do the normal thing. So break that, dirt, sugarcane, we're actually going here, which then means we need to place a row of water right here. Now you're going to go through and do the same thing you did on the previous row. So we're going to go over here, we're going back this row, break here, dirt, sugarcane, skip 1, break, dirt, sugarcanes. Once you've done that, we're going to change up a little bit of what's going on here. Break all of these again on the edge. I'm going to place that there so water doesn't spill. Just break these lower ones all the way across the edge. Now place dirt above that. So now what we're going to do is change it from pockets to a whole row going sideways. So what you're going to want to do is just break these 2 upper dirt, place them back down, and then form a full row. Now this just helps when you're changing lanes. You'll not only be breaking some of these, but when you're changing, you'll also break those on your way to the next row. And it just makes the farm a bit more efficient. Last thing is for sugarcane, this is going to be the last row here. This little row of 1 doesn't actually get connected. You just line that off because you're going to be farming like this so that you drop into the void just like that. And that will do it for sugarcane. And now moving on to mushroom. So mushroom is a little weird because of, you already see how it's set up. So you're going to go down this row and you're going to be coming back on this row all the way over here. So what we need to do is actually connect this row all the way over to this front row and then mine through all of them on this side. And it should connect up just like that. Now grab some slabs and then basically just connect up the slabs all the way down. And once you finish that, just make sure to block off all the way across here, just so that you don't fall off when you're actually using this row. The other side doesn't matter, it's just mainly this side. Break the trapdoors and block it off. I was not supposed to go through that first one, it's only to the second one that I meant to go to. So I'll replace that trapdoor. So basically what happens now is you go all the way down this row, we're going to come back down this row, and we're going to be going back this way. Now you may be thinking it's a little odd to have all of these here, and you're right. But what we're going to do is place 3 podzol deep each direction. Now, basically for these rows, since there's nothing placed there, just add podzol to your builder's ruler. We can replace this, but it doesn't really matter. So with the podzol, just place it here, 2, 3. And now break trapdoors for 3. Just place 3. So the 3 should go all the way down to the last row. So now you should have something like this. The 3 goes all the way down here. It goes all the way to the front here. And it will start you on this next row, which will go down. And that will come back on this row, which if you've already guessed, we're basically just going to copy the same idea. Break through here and go all the way to the second to the last row. So instead of going here, we're going here. And basically, we're just going to keep continuing the spiral pattern with rows of 3 until we get to the end. Also, one quick thing, the start of Mushroom Farm isn't here. I forgot to mention, it's actually right over here. So this is where we're starting Mushroom, which I'll just grab an emerald block. We start right here. So this way we're going out and around the spirals like that. And then that way, unblock this one. So we'll finish by dropping off the edge here. So starting from this first row all the way on the right, basically what we're going to do, break 3 of these and then place 3 podzol. We're going back to the rows of 3, which basically we're going to break out this row because this row goes all the way to the other side. So basically you're just going to copy the spiral, but this time put the rows of 3 on the opposite end. After you finish that, it should look something like this. You have a row of 3, row of 3, row of 3, row of 3, and then you're just going to have this little row of 1. Now the reason for this is we need to place trap doors all the way across this row here. Once you've done that, place trapdoors across this row here, and then this row here, and then finally this row here, and that will be it for the mushroom farm. Almost forgot one last thing. Basically what we're going to want to do is break these 2 blocks here and place 2 fences, so it'll look like this. So this will be your starting row here. If we get all the way to the end, we have to hit the fence and then go past this way. And basically, you're just going to want to place 2 fences just like this on each one of these where you'll be going forward and then you'll be coming backward into the trapdoors. If you're at the right angle, it will catch you. And then that is actually it for the mushroom farm. We're going to want to start out by digging the sand back. 47 blocks. Okay, you're going to want to alternate doing this every other. So we're going to do it here, here, and if you really want, you can start doing it on these sides on the opposite end, but I'm just going to start with one side. So this is where I'm starting. This block will be going down that way. We'll be coming back this way. Now, I did say 47, and it is 47, but you're also going to want to dig out this one that's closer to the left, just 1 extra. Next, you're going to want to grab an insane amount of heads. You are probably going to need all of them. So what we're going to do next is just place 1 head right here. After you mine the sand back, just place any head block right here. So you just mine 1 extra sand on the row closest to the beginning. And then I also mined out the slabs here just to make it a little bit easier. Now you're also going to want to mine out slabs starting 1 block after the head on that row. So it's going to be the row closer to the sand at the beginning, and this is going to go just all the way back to the beginning of the farm. You can then paste some sand right in its place. Now that's just to have a little bit more cactus. So next up, starting here, now this used to be sand, now it's going to be slabs, but we're also going to have a row of heads here that I believe goes out 28. After that, you're going to have a row of 18 heads, but you're going to bring it back 1 so it's actually closer. And if you've done that right, you'll end up exactly 1 block away from the edge of the map. Now what you can do is grab sand, fill that in, fill this in, break this block, and you should now have 3 empty right at the edge of the farm. So grab some fences and some cobblestone walls. Just place 3 fence and then 1 wall right in front of the heads. Now you can fill the rest of this in with slabs. So because of how this edge is, you actually have to start, place 4 TNT here, 4 TNT here. Then place a water bucket so it goes all the way over to that cactus. And then you can break that TNT and place one water bucket there. Break the rest of the TNT, and now you can just place water buckets going all the way to the edge. And now, basically, if you haven't really been able to tell, you're going to be running on this block here, breaking cactus. And if you're at the right angle, it will catch you, bring you over here, and it will send you back on the next row this way. That just makes it a lot better for lane changing. So you're just going to copy this design all the way down, and you're also going to copy it on the opposite ends. Get to the end of one side, you're always able to change the lane to the end of the farm. Then after you've got this in place, we only have one more thing we have to do, because if you've noticed, after we finish this row, we're going to be running, and it's going to be on this side. If we get to the opposite end, that would be running on this block here. We wouldn't hit the water. So what we have to do from here is count 3 blocks. And then from there, we're going to break the far end. And we're going to place 34 heads in place of these slabs. And then place water on these slabs so it's flowing that way. So I've placed 34 heads, and now I'm just going to place all the water in place. So basically now it will look like that. You have this row of water that takes you all the way down and back. And then you should be in this row here. And then this row will take you into the second lane. Then you just want to copy this design. You've got this taking you down and back, and then that one putting you in the right lane. Copy those numbers on all lanes, even on the opposite side. Just make sure it's actually taking you the right direction. Once you've finished both sides of that, it is time to start planting the cactus. So I'm going to do this side by side. So I find it easiest to start with these rows of 2, because you can plant one cactus here and the other there. And then just do one here, one here. And then when you go down to the other side, it will make this seem a lot less confusing. So when you come down to the other side, you can see where the cactus planted. And basically you just plant in all areas left over that you can. And then while you're on this other side, it's easiest to just do the exact same thing back down the other way. And once you're done, your farm should look something like this. Now my garden is always open, so if you were confused at any point in the video, you can just visit me and see how I did it.